north of here. I joined Arbonne, I started about 6 months ago, and prior to Arbonne, I was a physician assistant in internal medicine. I've been practicing for 6 years, and then actually 1 month ago I resigned from my JOB, and now I'm doing Arbonne full time. So, just a little bit about my why, and then I'll give you guys some tips for success, because a lot of people are like, wait, you're a physician assistant, you went to medical school, and now you're doing Arbonne. And I'm going to get emotional, but that's okay. I'm feeling the fear. Anyway, so my main why was, I had a great job, and I made a lot of money, and really I liked what I did, but I didn't like that I wasn't in charge of my own life, that I had absolutely really no time. I was married to my job. And, in 2005, my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and shortly after he was diagnosed, he actually passed away in just 11 months, and it was right before I graduated from PA school, so I was like, oh, him getting sick, this is why I should go and be a PA so I can help people and give back. And then, I was going on and going through my day and going through the grind, and 5 years passed, and I was still a PA, and pretty much where I was 5 years ago. And actually, I met Erin. She actually came in as my patient and didn't even talk to me about Arbonne. I didn't even know she did Arbonne. And I really believe that. Like, my dad sent her, as my guardian angel, tell me about Arbonne, because it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm still able to help people, but not just help them, get healthy and use better products, but I can help people change their lives, And I just really feel like, if you feel like you don't have time to do Arbonne or whatever, I mean, just think about, time is really our most precious gift, and you never know when something like that could happen to you or someone that you love. So instead of going and punching a clock every day or whatever, even if you love your job, I promise you'll love Arbonne more, because it's the best thing that really ever happened to me. So I wrote a couple things down because they told me to give you some tips for success. So my number one tip is definitely to offer the business opportunity to everyone, because like I said, if Erin, as my patient, never, she was like, oh, let's meet up and let's go walking, and I'm like, oh, I'm off on Tuesdays, and she's like, okay, come over on Tuesday, and I'm like, go to her house, and I don't know if anyone's ever been to her house, but it's amazing, and we're walking, and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, what does she do for a job? Why is she able to just walk with me and stuff? And then, she's taking some phone calls, and then I go in the bathroom after we were walking, and I'm washing my hands, and I'm like, what is this? This is nice. And then I'm like, what is that stuff you have? And she's like, what do you mean? And it was so, if she never, instead of her being like, oh, here, buy all the products, great, sure, just, yeah, buy everything, you got a lot of money, do whatever you want. If she never said oh, well, if you really, you should consider doing this as a business, and, can go side by side with what you're doing. And I did that for 5 months. I worked it side by side, and some of my patients were some of my best, consumers. But if she never offered it to me, don't prejudge anyone. Like Ruby was saying, think everyone has a 10 over their head, and they want to be on your team, they want to be on your team, they want to be on your team. Offer the business, because it's totally our best product. Our products sell themselves, but our best product is definitely the business opportunity. And then my next tip for success is to be really passionate, and I got emotional and stuff, but that's because this business is in my gut, and it's in my heart, and it's if your why doesn't make you cry, then it's not good enough. And really, your why is when you hear no, or you're crazy, what are you doing, or you know what I mean? If you got to have that fire in you, because that's what will keep you going. And when someone tells me, I have people my friends on Facebook, they're my PA school friends, are like, wait, are you still a PA? What are you doing? You know what I mean? and then some people will be like, oh, okay, that's nice. And I'm like, yeah, isn't it nice? You know what I mean? When they say to me, I'm like, I'm almost I feel bad for you that you still think that it's okay, to, let someone else be in control of your life. And when you have that positive energy, people are going to feed off that. So just be passionate, and, I really think that that's, I have people on Facebook or wherever, they're just my brother-in-law's girlfriend, she like messaged me. She's like, what's going on? I'm like, I need to be doing what you're doing. Like, seriously. I'm like, oh, okay. And then, did anyone watch Debbie Neal's CNTC when she was just in Canada? Did you guys watch her thing?
No.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half, so do it like, in non-income producing hours, as Erin likes to say. So like last night at 11 o'clock, my husband went to bed because he still gets up at dark 30. Ted, I'm going to be working on that though. He's next to not have to do that anymore. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go downstairs because I don't have to wake up tomorrow. I can get whatever I want. So I like put it on, and she's like amazing. Debbie Neal, she's from Jersey, which is where I'm from, so I like love her. And the biggest thing that really hit home with me about the hour and a half was to create urgency in your business. And when someone tells you, like, when you give someone a sample or something, or if they're like, oh yeah, no, I didn't try it, you're like, oh no, you better, like, I'm giving you this, and we're gonna talk in 2 days, so you better go home and, not like, you don't say you better go home and use it, but you know what I mean? Be like, oh, I'm gonna meet, like, you wanna create urgency in your business, that this is so important, that, like, this is my business, this is not a joke, this is serious, you know what I mean? But the biggest thing that I really liked about creating urgency, and she said, we're all like who in here who's not a regional vice president hasn't said, I will be a regional vice president? If you've said, I will be a regional vice president, raise your hand. Okay, so she said that if you say, I will be a regional vice president, that's a slogan. Like, you might as well just hang it up on a banner, right? But she's like, oh, you'll be a regional vice president, that's nice. She said, you have to set a deadline. So last night at 11:30, I'm on my printer, and I made urgency in my business. So I set a deadline. So by December 31st, 2012, I will be a regional vice president. And she said when you write something down, it's 70% more likely to come true. So that's why writing your why down. That's why writing your 100-person dream team list. Write it down, because then it's more likely to come true. So like my husband wakes up this morning, he's like, yeah, I saw that thing hanging on the fridge. And he's like, that's great. He's like, you know what I mean? So like just write your goal down, and it's 70% more likely to come true, which I love. And then my fourth tip is to read books on personal growth and about network marketing and about business. And if you don't know, if you just started and you're like, I can't start getting people on my team or like doing parties or whatever because I don't know the 9 ingredients in RE9. It doesn't matter. You don't have to know that. What you need to know is how to market this business, how to market this opportunity, because that is our #1 thing. So just get that passion, get that fire, get that why going, and that will get you motivated. You don't need to know every ingredient, and those new product manuals are awesome. Everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna memorize this, and I'm like, okay. Like, people want to know about your experience with the products. They don't want to know about the 9 ingredients. They want to know how when I put the eye cream on in 1 week, I didn't have those crow's feet anymore. You know what I mean? That's what people want to know. So, and a couple of books that I would highly recommend are The Business of the 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki. That's a really great one. And then I just finished Dare to Dream, Work to Win by Dr. Tom Barrett. That's a really awesome one. I went and saw him last week. He spoke in Pennsylvania, and I happened to be home for a wedding, so went to that. That was amazing. That's a really great book. They have tons of great tips in there. And then just a really fun read is The Flip Flop CEO. That's a really fun one, especially like if someone's like, oh, network marketing, that's a pyramid. Give them that book just to read, and then be like, oh, that's my book, so I need to get it back from you. So you have a meeting up with them at like the end of the week so they could read it, and then you talk to them about the business. And then they've actually got like a different, spin on the business, which I really, really like. So that's it. Yay!